There are villages that live off their land, others off their stories. But there is one lost in the heart of forest where even the animals avoid crying out, that lives in silence. And this silence hasn't always been natural. Long ago, this village was called Azric, and there they played drums, not to entertain, not to dance, but to talk, to something sleeping beneath the roots, the drum of the pact. No one knew its origin. It was simply there, in a locked hut, deep in the village, a circle of leather stretched over a black wooden rim, runes engraved all around it. So worn they could no longer be read, they called it the drum of the pact. Every year, on the night of the winter solstice, the village chief entered the hut alone, and he struck the drum once, a dull, deep blow that made the earth tremble and the stars fall silent. And after that blow, the rain came, the harvests were good, disease receded, the village prospered for a year, until the next blow. But no one knew what that blow cost, for the one who struck the drum never came out alive. The year without a chief. It happened one winter. The chief died before he could strike the drum. No one knew how. He was found in his room, his eyes open, his face frozen in an expression impossible to describe, half horror, half ecstasy. The village panicked. Without the drum, the pact would be broken. And without the pact, no one wanted to know what would happen. So, 3 men decided to take matters into their own hands. 3 volunteers, 3 madmen. They entered the hut together. They said they would all 3 beat the drum, that their combined strength would be enough to break the curse. They never came out. The next morning, the door was open, the drum intact, but inside, nothing. No body, no blood, just a black handprint on the wall, and a sentence carved into the wood. This is not a drum, it's a mouth. The silence begins. The following year, the village experienced famine, then fever, finally madness. The inhabitants heard sounds at night, not voices. No, something deeper, like a distant beat, a steady pulse, muffled, present. Some began to mechanically bang on the tables, the walls, the stones, as if their hands were looking for something to strike. And when they found an object like a drum, they couldn't help themselves. They banged, and then the thing responded. One day, a young man banged on an old pot with a spoon. The pot exploded. His body was found a few hours later, sitting against a tree, smiling, dead. Since that day, no one is allowed near the drum. But sometimes, very rarely, someone hears another bang. Just one, very far away, as if it were coming from deep within the earth. And soon after, someone dies. No violence, no illness, no, just dead, as if something had decided it was its turn. The drum doesn't kill those who beat it. It gives them away, gives their soul, gives their voice, gives their life. And each beat calls something forth, something waiting, lurking beneath the forest, behind the world, and that loves to be called forth. That's why, even today, in the village of Azric, no one speaks of the drum. They let it rest, in silence, for this cursed drum kills anyone who dares to beat it. And those who die end up striking back,